Here we go. I was tagged by Strip Cover Lit to do the 52 Nifty Bookish Cues tag. I'm going to do this video try and do this in one take, and I'm not going to edit the bloody thing. So forgive me, but I'm going to attempt to do this because it's going to be a long one. Let's do it. 1. What book are you reading right now? I'm reading 2 books right now. I am currently reading Beyond and Zero Bomb. Science fiction, near future, cancer book about teenagers, which both are really good. That's a review copy and this isn't out yet. So there they are. 2. What is the last thing you highlighted? On my Kindle, I highlighted a quote in God's Grave by J. Christoph, and I can't tell you the quote because my brain has just done a fuck. 3. What do you plan to read next? This bad boy. Someone Like Me. I am a great lover of this guy's work, Girl with All the Gifts, Boy on the Bridge, and so on. Fantastic books. There they are. Read them all, love them. So I'm reading his new book. Well, newish. 4. One fiction writer, living or dead, who'd like to grab a drink. Harper Lee. She is a phenomenal writer. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favourite books. Anyone who knows me knows that. So, there we go. One non-fiction writer, living or dead, who you would like to grab a drink. I would like to grab a drink with... Can I just say, right now, the woman who wrote this, she's the only non-Westerner, the only non-Japanese person to ever become a geisha, and this book is fascinating, her life story is fascinating, and there it is. So, there we go. Ah, brain fuzzled. Where am I? 6. One poet, living or dead, who would like to grab a drink with. I want to grab a drink with the brilliant Shakespeare. I don't know if he's technically a poet, but sonnets, come on. Shakespeare. Just because the homoeroticism of his sonnets sometimes it makes me giggle, but I'm a Shakespeare geek, so Shakespeare. 7. One booktuber who would like to grab a drink. You guys. I've said this since I started watching the channel. I bet you guys are fun to get pissed with. So, yeah. A few beers, us drunk. And by the way, to the Americans, pissed in the UK means drunk. So, there we go. Emily Dickinson or Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Probably because I haven't read as much Dickinson, though. So... I've read all of Edgar Allan Poe. 9. Hemingway or Fitzgerald? Fitzgerald. I only really like one Hemingway novel. I've read an amazing amount of Fitzgerald, though. Charles Dickens or Jane Austen? Oh, why is this so hard? I prefer Charles Dickens, but that depends on my mood. So, depending on where I am. 11. I'm going to skip 11 because I've read neither of their work. 12. Stephen King or Michael Crichton? One wrote Jurassic Park, one wrote the Dark Tower series. I don't like Stephen King most of the time except the Dark Tower books. Stephen King can't write a good ending to save his life. Jurassic Park wins, sorry. 13. Bret, Easton, Ellis or Chuck Palahniuk? I love American Psycho, but Palahniuk. 14. I'm sorry, it will have to be John Green. Simple reason, I've not read any of Kurt's work. Sorry. 15. Shakespeare. Poems or plays? Plays. I love Shakespeare. I am a Shakespeare geek. I've been to the Globe numerous times, and I've even performed in Shakespeare for Amdram. So, come on. Adrian Fault or Dalton Gentry? Oh God, why are you being so cruel? Come on, Adrian is the Tyler Durden, then you have Dalton, who's Woody Allen. Can I just pick Dalton Gentry, his man bun? Dalton's man bun is epic. Epic man bun, come on. 17. McCarthy or J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling, if you've read her adult fiction and crime novels as well, she really is a phenomenal writer. 18. Shakespeare or Voldemort? 18. Hannibal Lecter or Voldemort? Both are equally as creepy, but Voldemort scares me more. I'm skipping question 19 because I've not read their work. 20. Good writing or good story? Good story. I'd rather read a good story that's not well written than a book that's perfectly written and absolutely boring. So, story all the way. 21. YA or children's lit? I prefer children's lit. YA has become very stale and very samey. No one's taking any risks and it's becoming boring. And it's also becoming a little bit toxic online. Children's lit, always. 22. Irony or humour? Irony. My God, irony. I'm British. 23. Sci-fi or horror? Science fiction. 24. Fantasy or non-fiction? Fantasy. Ish. 25. Rather find a new favourite contemporary writer or a new favourite old-timey great? A new writers, full stop. I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. 26. I'm skipping because I've not read their work, and the same for 27. 28. Spend the evening at the library or the bookstore? Depends on my mood. I love my bookstore, but I will say I do like my library, but the bookstore at the moment. 29. Magazine or Wikipedia article? I prefer a magazine article for research. I only use Wikipedia for the basics. 33. Dictionary or encyclopedia? I own both. My Oxford English Dictionary is massive, and I have countless encyclopedias of nature, so partly just because of the photography in them is gorgeous. 31. The writer I'd like to write my biography. I would like Hemingway to write my biography. I think he's got enough ego to write me, to match my own. 32. I do not write in my books. I do not write my books at all. Do not put pen near any of my books. 33. I do not. Oh, sorry. 32. I do not highlight my books either. So I don't put anything. I don't even dog ear my pages. Last time you went to the library. I literally go there like 3 or 4 times a week. Earliest memory of a library. Wickford in Essex, their library. We used to go there as a child. I remember getting countless books and videos out from there. And they used to have a little scholastic stand. 36. Have you ever stolen or accidentally stolen books from the library? Yes, when I left college, I still had about 7 books from that library that I never returned. Kind of glad that I didn't, but you know what I mean. 37. Ballpark. How many books do you own? All of those, about 4 boxes of them, and about 200 ebooks. So God knows. 38. How many books do you think would make a reasonable personal library? Whatever books make you happy. I think that's a nice, reasonable personal library, but you don't need to own books, in my opinion. You own what you love. So there's sensibility in sea monsters, Pride and Prejudice and zombies, etc. How do you feel about this phenomenon? I kind of like it, but I think it's had its day. It's a bit been done to death now. Parody is very difficult to get right. 40. Horror trope you would like to see get more love. Psychological horror, rather than just gory or jump scares. 41. Something that really grinds something that you think gets underutilized in science fiction. Non-humanoid aliens. There is this thing in science fiction where all life seems to have a basic shape like us. What if you're a ball of gas or liquid or whatever? Just putting that out there. 42. Flash fiction. Form of literature or just a short story? It can be both. It depends on the writer. 43. If you could own one book from all of history, what would it be? The Egyptian Book of the Dead. I'd love to own that. Or the Dead Sea Scrolls. 44. Audiobooks. Same as reading. Yes, it's just a different way of absorbing the information. Audiobooks are just as valid as physical book, as paper. It's just a different way of absorbing it. 45. Most literary songwriter of your lifetime. Depeche Mode, Deftones. I think Madonna is really underrated as a songwriter. Have you heard Ray of Light and American Life? Great songwriting. 46. Which writer embarrassed you the most because you haven't read them? There's loads. I can name about... There's books that I own that I've just got by new writers that I've been meaning to read for a long time. So there's loads. I think that's the same for everyone. 47. Which writer embarrasses you because you've read too much of their work? Cassandra Clare. I love those books. They're cheesy. They're shit, basically. They're absolute dog tripe and they're so overrated, but I love the story. And they're basically just the same thing over and over and over again. So, there we go. What is a biography you're looking forward to reading? I'm going to be reading Steve Jobs' book soon, so I'm a massive Apple fan, so I can't wait to read about his life. 49. Do you have any dream reading cubby? Not really. I would love a library, though. I would love just a room of books with a big sofa in it and a coffee table and a coffee machine that brought coffee to me. 50. Last literary phenomenon that really grinds your gears. Right now it's New Adult. New Adult does not exist. It's basically just simplistic YA writing with sex. You know, most of these writers just write porn, going by the quality of the writing in most New Adult and YA books anyway. I mean, Sarah J. Maas, prime example. 51. What's the last piece of literature that changed the way you read? Being forced to read Shakespeare as a child, or teenager I should say, and suddenly that made me read screenplays. So I love films, screenplays and plays, and I don't talk about them enough on my channel, which I'm going to do something with, by the way. 52. What booktube have you been watching the most recently? You know what? I don't watch as much booktube as I should. I do tend to catch up. It actually has been you guys, Strip Cover Lit, because you're always in my feed. So it's like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're getting it right. Now I can breathe. So I'm just going to tag two of my favourites because literally my brain is confuzzled. After that, I'm going to tag JD Archer, JD Estrada. The two JDs are booktube, who are fantastic because you guys, Strip Cover Lit, basically just tagged everyone I was thinking of. Bye.